Listen, it's great to see you guys here at ISH. This is the first Architonic talk of a two-day program of talks. I was just saying to my dear interview partner here, Lotte, that we start at the top and it's downhill from here. So stick around for the next hour and a half if you can, because we've got lots more for you. But maybe I'd start with introducing myself. I'm Simon Keane-Cowell. I'm editor-in-chief at Architonic, which is the... Actually, we've just changed our claim, as you say in German. We now describe ourselves as the ultimate online research and collaboration tool for architects and designers, and we stand by that. It's a diverse program of speakers, all practitioners, all experts in the field, in their various fields. So I think we have something for everyone. But as I say, we're starting with Lotte Kristoferitsch. God, there's a name.
That's a name, yeah.
That is a name. Who is the managing director at EOOS Next, which was founded in 2020, which is part of... am I pronouncing it? Is it? I never know whether it's EOOS or EOS.
No, it's EOS.
EOS.
Yeah.
The renowned Vienna-based industrial design studio. And Lotte's team focus specifically on social and sustainable design activities, and it's really brilliant work. But today we're focusing down on toilet design. You're obsessed with toilets, really. I think it's almost to the point where it's unhealthy. No, but you really have. This is nothing new. It's nothing overnight. You guys have guys have been sort of grappling with this for 15 years, is it?
Yeah, it's been 15 years now.
And what inspired the start then? What inspired EOS to was there a particular moment where this passion to investigate and to innovate was lit?
Well, to begin with. And maybe I'll just show some slides. So EOS has a history in product design. It's a studio that has been established 30 years ago by 3 partners. And the change towards social design and especially water sanitation and hygiene happened 15 years ago through a collaboration with Swiss EOOS that was... which was basically an invitation to join the Reinvent the Toilet Challenge by the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. So as you see on the image on the screen, there are 2, in a way, doors into our studio. And as I said, 30 years, and I have to do a bit of self-promotion here as well. We just finished a book on the studio's history, which is going to be launched in beginning of April. So if you're interested in the history of the studio, I highly recommend borrowing it or even buying the book. So, but let's go back to toilets and to the Gates Foundation. So this is a bit, as you see behind my back, this is where we have been spent a lot of our time as a design studio, working in informal settlements, really understanding how people live and what they need to improve their basic hygiene.
Can you tell us more about the where you started in this journey? What was the first project? What was the first challenge you decided to tackle? Talk a bit about the kind of genesis of this particular focus.
Yeah, so this is travel in history. So the pictures that you see here, they are all dated from 2014. So this is a while ago. And this was actually, the blue object that you see on these images is called Blue Diversion Toilet. And it was a toilet that could treat especially water on site. It's a core technology by Swiss EOOS. We were in charge of designing an object that people would actually like to purchase or that they could imagine bringing to the household. It was a squat toilet that was able to divert urine from feces. We were not very successful with this design because it had a lot of sensors and it failed very fast, as you can imagine if you see these pictures of the toilet in a slum. So the Gates Foundation challenged us to come up with something new, with a better solution for separating human waste on site.
Do you still want to, as a footnote, as a side note, why separate waste? Why separate urine from the rest of our waste?
Well, there are multiple reasons to do so. First of all, human bodies are diverting urine from feces on their own, and it's very stupid that we mix it all up again in the sewer. But if you think about the context of the Gates Foundation, they see sanitation, safe sanitation, as important as vaccines. And again, there are multiple reasons for that. One is what you see behind here, basic pit latrine. If you mix urine and feces in these latrines, you have a lot of humidity, you have a lot of flies, and flies lead to diseases like malaria. So separating urine from feces in basic sanitation already improves. Yeah, it's a basic health improvement. And then if you look at the context of the reinvented toilet challenge, where feces and urine are supposed to be treated on site and treated within 24 hours, of course, the easiest way to reduce energy consumption is by reducing urine from feces. So there are two reasons behind that.
I remember the first time that I spoke to you and your colleagues about this was in the context of the project that you'd worked on with Laufen, precisely to design an evolved toilet product typology that mechanically separated urine from feces. That was a couple of years ago.
Yes, so this was 2019, and I have to correct you because it doesn't mechanically separate urine from feces. It does it passively and invisible to the user. So I can jump a few slides and explain a bit how we got to this point where we are actually able to separate urine invisible to the user. So I'm showing this not to disgust you, but to show you how existing urine diverting toilets look like in Africa. So it's a very graphic object. The front part of the toilet is actually used to separate urine, while the rest of the object is where the feces go. And as you see, these toilets are misused a lot of times. They are not accepted very well, and people use them as dust, as trash bags, so the system doesn't work at all. So that's a basic scheme how they should work. And then especially when you think about kids and their body dimensions, you can imagine that their poo also falls into the area where you actually want to collect urine. So we were challenged by the Gates Foundation to come up with something new, something better, something more acceptable to the user. So we started doing a lot of research on our own because we just couldn't find anything in literature. And when I talk about literature, this is a very famous book that every designer should know. It's called The Bathroom by Kira. It's from the 70s. It has been developed in a long research at a US university. And what you see on the right image is actually what they came up with, the human anatomy, and where actually feces and urine are leaving the human body. We didn't really believe this because there are so many body types and you can't really nail it down on these few points. So we started doing our own research, a research that led to some publications that are called How Men and Women Pee, if you're interested. We did the sitting research in our studio in Vienna while we did some squatting research in India with a university in Hyderabad. So we installed a thermal imaging. I love talking about this, so it's going to be very hard.
Fascinating. This is absolutely fascinating. This is one of the questions in my mind was, the cultural differences of, ejecting waste from our bodies, depending on which part of the world you're in and which culture you're inhabiting, is different, right?
Yes. So to give you an idea how we came to designing urine diverting toilets, this is in a way how it all started. So we were doing a lot of videos of people from different ages, different genders, different body typologies, analyzing their behavior on toilets, and then translating this into a framework that would then help us to design toilets in the future. So you remember the picture I just showed from Kira on the right side, and what you actually see on the left side is what we came up with. So it's not 3 points, it's way more. So in a next step, because we at some point we had to stop developing toilets while trying these prototypes out ourselves, we came up with an object that is able to mimic the human urine stream. And being Austrian, we came up with the word urinator. It's an open design object that you can attach to a toilet seat, and it will then simulate a male and a female urine stream. Those are those two small nozzles that you see. It's open design, so you can download it from GitHub, 3D print it, and try it out yourselves. It is quite popular amongst toilet developers. We know that by now, because sometimes we get some questions regarding the object. And something that is very specific to the human urine stream is that in the first 4 centimeters of your urine stream, you have these turbulences. And then the urine stream calms down. And we even managed to come up with this specific geometry in the object.
So, so there are nuances in the flow as
Yes.
well that you've built into this.
Yeah, exactly. We're very
fascinating.
proud of that. So this already helped us develop toilets. We knew that we wanted to come up with something very, very simple. So no moving parts, no sensors. And as designers, we are used to working on a one-to-one scale. So we try out a lot of things. We build, we iterate. And during these trials, we came up with an effect that all of you might have noticed in your life already. It's called the teapot effect. So sometimes if you pour a cup of tea out of a pot, the liquid stays on the pot instead of ending up in your cup. And this has to do with surface adhesion and with velocity. So we analyzed the urine stream furthermore and found out about specific fluid dimensions and velocities, and used this actually to create the Laufen Safe toilet, for instance. It's a patented technology that is called the urine trap. And here you see a very simple section through a toilet, and I'll explain how it actually works. So while urine is way slower, it sticks to a certain radius, while the water from a flush cistern is going to jump over this edge and actually is not fully caught by the urine trap. So you have a very elegant and invisible way of separating urine from flush water. We did, prior to developing this toilet with Laufen, we also engaged ETH Zurich with their supercomputer. So the videos that you're going to see here, they only last seconds, but it took this computer a weekend to make them. So this is a urination stream, and what you see is the way the urine is caught in the urine trap. And the next video is a flush event where you actually see that the flush water does not end up in this segment of the toilet. So I can, if you want to see the real object, it's on display at the Laufen booth, which is just behind your backs. Yeah, and now I would like to show you some applications of the urine trap that we did in the past. So the first one is actually the Laufen Safe toilet, which was developed as a wall-hung ceramic cistern flush toilet. We presented this in 2019 as an innovation with Laufen. It is now being installed in buildings like the European Space Agency headquarters in Paris, which we're very proud of, but also currently in construction is a housing building in Vienna, in Austria, where for the first time urine from a residential building is being collected inside a building and then transformed into fertilizer to fertilize the roof gardens. That's a side view, so as you see it looks almost like a normal toilet. Something that is on display this year is another urine diverting toilet. This is a vacuum technology that has been prototyped by the Rocker Group. It's also on display at the Laufen booth. This is a field test. This is not a regular bathroom, as you can see. This is a field test that we did in India with a university in Goa, where we demonstrated the improvement of biological systems by introducing urine diversion and vacuum. At the Laufen booth, this toilet is communicated as a novel and water-saving toilet, because as you clearly see, it is reducing flush volume significantly. So compared to a standard flush toilet, the water reduction of this toilet is 75%, which I think is something very key to the society that we're all part of, contributing to saving water and thinking about more resourceful ways of how water is being used, also in the global north. Coming back to India, also connecting to the first images where I showed some informal settlements. This is work that we did in the past years. That's the treatment system behind the vacuum toilet. So it's a biological treatment. It's a two-step plant treatment. So the plants get rid of all the nutrients that are in human urine, and at the end you have a safe-to-use effluent that you can either trickle or use for cleaning purposes. And the green box that you see on the right side is a septic tank that works as a biodigester, so it produces biogas. Very simple technologies that you will find all over India, and it was a great opportunity for us to demonstrate a technology early stage, even before being a product. I mentioned the Gates Foundation a lot, and they have been a key partner for our studio for the past 15 years. We were also part of a project that is called Generation 2 Reinvented Toilet, where for the first time teams were not competing against each other, so it was no longer called Challenge, but they collaborated. So we had the pleasure and the honor being part of a group of 70 engineers from all over the world, working on a toilet that actually contributes to the cause of the foundation, saving, transforming sanitation and coming up with a non-sewered solution. And we were in charge of the front end. Here you see another vacuum system in a household in India. And back end that was designed by a consortium of Swiss and US engineers, which appears to be very large, but this of course is because it's a prototype and engineers need to have access to very complex components. In a design study that is now on display at the Gates Foundation's Visitor Center, we were able to scale it down to make it appear like a home appliance, so that people can actually imagine having this in their households at a later stage. And this also helps industry engage. Earlier this year, I'm mixing years up, so this was a year ago already when Lixil announced that they are going to be one of the first partners bringing this technology to the market. So unfortunately this year the development is not so far that this can be presented at ISH, but I hope in the close future that there will be something that is actually part of this project that will be on display.
And is this the model that is the most effective one, that your design research work is funded by not-for-profit organizations, and then you hope that forward-minded manufacturers step in then and seize the opportunity to really do something important and develop a product that can then reach a certain scale?
Well, it it is part of our model, yes. And I think what we do is really innovative and comes out of this transformative technologies framework. So definitely we need strong partnerships with industries, because on our own, we're a design studio, we can't do it. But for us, the Gates Foundation was enabling us to demonstrate things that are maybe unthinkable for the sanitary industry at the moment.
Yeah, amazing that the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation have that trust in you and your vision. I think that's absolutely super.
Well, it is a very strong and long-established partnership that we are very proud of. And they enabled us to connect to a lot of important players in this industry that are all presenting their...
Exactly. Lotte, can I ask you what you think is... can we do some future gazing? Do you have a feeling of how toilet design is going to evolve over the next decade or two?
Well, I really do hope that we find a better way to treat human waste, starting in the toilet, of course. I really do hope that we get away from this high amounts of flush volumes that are needed to move human waste through a sewage system. Coming from Austria, we flush our toilets with alpine drinking water, which is very sad.
I'm a double flusher as well. I'm part of the problem. And that's actually not really... the second flush is almost a psychological thing, just to be doubly sure, although I'm sure it's not necessary.
Yes, we of course noticed this in our research, and when we develop vacuum toilets, we built that in a way so that you don't use that high volumes of water, because we know people are going to flush twice anyways.
Yeah. Do we need to, this is maybe it sounds like a comedy question, but it's not, do we need to encourage men to sit down more when they use the toilet, to do a number one, as you'd say in English? I think, Anna, how do you say that in German? Kleines Geschäft. Kleineres Geschäft, kleines Geschäft.
Well, for urine separating toilets, it is a must that men are sitting down. So yes, I think that everybody should sit down on toilets.
It's interesting, this culture, I've noticed in the German-speaking world, particularly in Switzerland where I live, it's much more common for, I think, most men sit down. And in the UK, not so much.
Well, I think for men standing, there's a very nice object that has been developed decades ago. And what we achieved with our urine diverting technologies is actually also having a very appealing toilet for women sitting. And of course, it also works for men sitting, but also for men standing. That's also something that we analyzed in field tests.
When I was thinking about this talk, there was one thing that really struck me, which was I couldn't remember the last time I'd gone to the toilet mindfully, where I hadn't taken my smartphone with me and actually been looking at my phone while I'd been sitting on the toilet doing my business. This is... I mean, have you ever thought about... I wonder how many people here actually kind of don't take their phone to the toilet with them when they go and sit down. I think it's almost nobody. It struck me as that this is, beyond the brilliant work that you're doing, that this also is a moment in our days where we can be kind to ourselves and afford ourselves like a few minutes of just being present, being in the here and now.
That's a very tricky question, because it also happens to me that I take my phone to the toilet. But I think in the future, and we see a lot of this already at this fair, I think in a few years' time, everybody's going to sit on the toilet and monitor what is going on. So maybe it will tell us something about our health, and maybe it will lead to a healthier lifestyle, and maybe we will get some feedback on the urine separation efficiency based on the behavior that we...
I would love to see that.
It's all about gamification, no?
Yeah, yes. The gamification of your next toilet trip. Lotte, we could talk for a lot longer. I'm afraid we're out of time.
Yes.
It's so fantastic to meet you finally in the flesh, and keep up the brilliant work. This is so important. I mean, you're an industrial design studio that obviously needs to make money to survive, but the fact that you have this social and sustainable design arm and are so committed to it, is a wonderful thing, and I want to thank you on behalf of everyone here for that. Thank you so much, Lotte.
Yeah, thank you for having me again. It was a pleasure.